The first quarter-century of Wise Men International is defined by rapid growth later tempered by major world events that will integrally impact society. All original charters are hand-delivered by an international officer or board member. The first one presented is to the original Toledo Club on December 22, 1922. The first charter outside the USA will be to the Club of Sydney, Nova Scotia, started by Henry George Pope, interested in an economically friendly alternative to the Rotary. The YMI movement in Canada brings new life to the association right away. In its first year, a Canadian initiative introduces the concept of junior wise men, the precursor to today's youth clubs. The following year, 1924, wives of the Vancouver Wise Men create the Wise Menettes, the female alternative to the gender-exclusive Wise Men's Club. Credit for the first overseas club goes to K.F. Lum, a YMCA staff member from Hawaii. Posted to China for his job, he begins the Wise Men's Club of Shanghai in 1924. Back in Hawaii a few years later, Lum will found the first club with a truly international membership. Some nationalities represented are Chinese, Korean, Japanese, and Portuguese. By March 1926, there are 89 clubs. Wise men can be found in Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin and North America. In 1927, the head of the World YMCA, John Armott, says, "The work of the Wise Men's Club, as I have observed it in my travels, is one of the most vital. Moreover, it is invaluable in generating and conserving a genuine spirit of fellowship and brotherhood." Meanwhile, in our country of origin, an Ohio wise man, Lloyd Roulet, a jeweler, designs our official emblem. Henry Dustin Grimes, member of the YMCA Board of Directors and a charter member of his club in Lawrence, Massachusetts, is appointed International Secretary-Treasurer. His home will serve as YMI's first headquarters. He will go on to become the first official employee of YMI as our International Secretary-General, until his death in 1962. In 1931, the 20th YMCA World Council is held. To raise awareness and to build new partnerships, YMI runs its international convention at the same time. It is here that the concept for our first long-standing international program will be introduced. The Bishops Fund, later the Brotherhood Fund, and in 2022 the Building Fellowship Program, will provide financial subsidy to foreign club members wishing to attend the annual legislative meeting. Over time the program will become synonymous with fellowship, cultural exchange, and idea sharing among club members from different geographic locations. Having used the YMCA publications for almost all our communication needs since Talimka, the 1935 creation of our magazine Wise Men's World, to become YMI World in 2016, is a historic moment. Our first international project partnership also begins that year, with YMI's financial support for the YMCA's global youth camps. Despite the post-war circumstances, the YMI spirit remains high and is exemplified by our international support to the YMCA Relief Fund to help YMCAs in conflict zones to rebuild and recover. Our silver anniversary is celebrated in 1947 in our founding city, Toledo. It is at this meeting that the basis for the International Brother Club will be introduced. Beginning as a way to recognize sponsors of overseas clubs, it will later evolve into friendly partnerships between members in different countries.
By the early 1950s, YMI has secured its reputation as a discerning organization. In the words of our founder, we, YMI members, care not if a man be athlete or weakling, college graduate or self-schooled, whether he believes this, that or some other religious doctrine, whether he drives a Lincoln or rides the street cars. The wise men demand something far more precious, something far more rare than any of these requisites. The wise man must be primarily interested in the welfare of others. In 1954, Alexander will exemplify his own words in rejecting the organization's offer of a commissioned portrait painting in favor of a less expensive professional photograph. The $900 difference he uses to start the Paul William Alexander Scholarship Fund, simplified to the Alexander Scholarship Fund, ASF, in 1982. The ASF promotes the training of YMCA staff, providing funds to develop YMCA leadership and impact potential worldwide. A few years later in 1958, long-standing Wise Men's World editor, Dave Elder, will promote YMI's Endowment Fund, EF, by introducing the Golden Book fundraising concept by which official affiliates will pay to honor exemplary members in an official record maintained at IHQ. The purpose of the EF was, and remains, to provide financial aid and stability for the movement's present and future purposes. Despite the tragic loss of founder Paul Alexander and his wife Lorraine in 1967 and 68 respectively, YMI continues to develop. Increasing awareness of communal world ills will lead to the establishment of YMI's Human Crisis Committee. On December 13, 1970, committee member Vi Norman from Waterloo, Iowa suggests raising funds to help YMCAs tackle these problems. His idea, to have club members forfeit a meal and donate the relative cost, will define our next major international program, Time of Fast, TOF, which is approved at the IC 1970 in Denmark, the home country of Poul Jorgensen, our first IP who was neither American nor Canadian. This would be the first international convention outside North America. Gender equality and women's rights were additional hot topics of the period. By 1972, our 50th year, the International Board of Directors enters into serious discussion regarding not only giving women membership but also changing the general structure of the board. By 1973, the clubs have ratified the proposed changes. The International Council becomes our legislative body, and a new constitution recognizes the changes and the headquarters established in Geneva, Switzerland in 1970. In 1977, the first all-women club is created in Southdale, Minnesota. The first female International Council members are Edna Beckett from Jamaica, 1978 to 1980, and Ariane Brenner Friedel from United States, 1979 to 1982. The first female international president will be Rochelle Reed from St. Louis, Missouri, who held the position in 1990-91. Founded to serve the YMCA, the world's largest youth organization, YMI has provided for young people since its founding, primarily through various travel and exchange opportunities for leadership development and confidence building. The first official YMI youth initiative, the Youth Educational Exchange Program, was started in the mid-1960s to give children of club members a study year abroad hosted by another YMI family. Over the years, various additional study work opportunities will be developed for young persons within the YMCA and YMI family. In 1986, the first International Youth Convocation is held, and in 1994, our first youth representative will be granted a non-voting seat on our Legislative Council. It will be the beneficiaries of these opportunities, their children and their peers, to whom YMI will look to carry the torch of the movement into the next century, where an aging membership becomes an increasing concern.